The Guangzhou Charge are currently booming me and a lot of other people. Now, initially, I thought about making this video as an Overreaction Monday kind of thing, but I just can't wait any longer. We need to talk about the Charge, and we need to do it right now. It's still very early on, very, very early in fact, only 2 weeks into the season, but the Charge are currently defying all expectations placed on them, even by some of their biggest believers. As of right now, I myself feel like a total clown, and I want to give the Charge the credit they deserve in this type of video, and talk about why they're off to such a hot start. Go over the reasoning behind it. With how much Charge are making the headlines right now, we just have to talk about them. This can't go unnoticed, and if you want to see more of these types of reaction videos where we go over current day stuff in the league, let me know in the comments below. So Guangzhou Charge are currently 3-0 at the top of the Eastern Conference with a 9-0 map record. I don't think there's a single soul out there aside from maybe some crazy super fans that had the Guangzhou Charge being perfect through 2 weeks on their bingo card. Now, of course, there's a disclaimer that goes into this. It has only been 2 weeks. They've played 3 games, there's still a lot of Overwatch left to be played, you don't know how the meta's going to change here in the future, but here in the present, there is not a shadow of a doubt that the Guangzhou Charge are the team to beat in the East until proven otherwise. No team in the East, including the Spark, have looked as consistent and as dominant as the Guangzhou Charge have been. In a lot of these games, they have been winning quite decisively. This looks like a Charge team that is picking up exactly from where they left off towards the end of 2022, when they were beating people left and right and going on their comeback arc. Now, I especially feel this way because not many people had them all that high in their power rankings. Even some of the highest Charge enthusiasts probably only had them like top 3 at best, you feel me? I myself had them at 5th place, and so did a lot of people. So to see them go on this type of spree early on in the season is giving us all regrets, but at the same time, a lot of excitement, because the Charge are a really cool team, they're fun to watch, and they haven't been relevant since 2020, so it's great to see them finally get back into the spotlight in such a huge way like this to really demand your attention. If we're getting masterclass performances like this, then I'll gladly take the L and get clowned on for being wrong about this group. What they're doing and how they accomplished it brings tears to my eyes. Like, this is a textbook rebuild. The Charge management built this roster with the mindset that they were going to be different. This was going to be the team to finally turn around their luck. They have the talent to make it happen, they just need some time to gel and continue to build up their confidence, and now we're at that point. We have literally met exactly what their vision was. It's mostly because this roster is so dang talented. They're so motivated to prove themselves. They have a lot of guys with chips on their shoulders, and when you combine all of them together, it makes for this elite group that will do whatever it takes to win. They have that competitive drive to go very far this season. But where does it all stem from? What makes this group so special? Well, for me, it's starts with the roots. The fact that they were able to gain some confidence together towards the end of last year. Even if they did come short, that foundation was set in place where they know they could win together. They were able to put up one of the better records in the league over a very short amount of time and nearly changed the Charge season completely. And then they had this entire offseason plus the preseason when they found out that they'd be sticking together, just the 5 of them, for at least 1 more year. I initially thought that just having the 5 of them would be a weakness. No changes means that it could be easy to get a read on them. But in fact, with how unstable the East is, it's actually had the opposite effect. They're a lot more stable than a lot of these other teams who are trying to straighten out their bearings. But it goes way beyond that. It's not just because of what they've built and how long they've been together. Believe me, you gotta dive into the game itself. What they're doing in-game that makes them so impressive. And for me, it starts with how great they are as a unit and the confidence they exude. Every single individual on this roster feels like they are the best at their position. That's truly how I feel when I watch them play, and for good reason. Like I was just saying before, it feels like everybody on this team can make some kind of contribution. The backline has the mechanics, but also the consistency, and the stability, and the good decision-making to take their team far. The DPS right now seem like they can play at a level that can match even some of the strongest superstars in the league, and Piggy has just been a strong, stable, flexible tank presence that always gets the job done. They have guys that do their jobs, and they do them very well, to the point where sometimes they're going above and beyond expectations. And it's because of that team morale and how they all feel about themselves individually that they're playing how the best Overwatch League teams always do, with absolute confidence and with zero respect given to their opponents. I can't even begin to tell you how important this factor is into making an all-time great team. That's what a lot of the best Overwatch League teams over the years have done. They've shown absolutely zero respect or mercy to any of their opponents. Even if they're the underdogs, they do not care. And that is what I see when I watch the Charge play. Like, do you think Piggy, for example, is scared to go up against somebody like Belos Rhea or Gushue, even though they have way more experience on the Winston? No, not at all. And that's because he knows his team has his back. He's got nothing to worry about. And what about the DPS? Take the Spark game. Choi Se-won and Jimmy know how scary Shy and Leaf are. Without a doubt, these are two of the scariest, most amazing DPS players out of China ever. Two of the best to ever do it from that region. Jimmy in particular knows that for a fact, as he's had to always live in the shadow of these guys. They've always been better than him. He's had to listen to that nonstop. He's maybe lost some potential job opportunities because of them. But he's not going to live in the past. He doesn't care. He's out there to show that this is different and that these teams should be regretting not picking him up earlier. And you already know that Xerneas is never afraid to get up in your face. So really, when you look at the Charge, it's just a walking box of confidence. But it definitely does go beyond that. Individually, a lot of these Charge members have made a serious difference with how they've been able to improve or finally be able to show their real talents off to the rest of the world over a very short amount of time. And the place I most definitely wanted to start is with the DPS line. Choi Se-won and Jimmy, right now, are playing some of the most absurd Overwatch to start a season that we have ever witnessed. The back and forth between these two and how they can both take over a game at the same time is giving teams a serious problem. Even the Spark couldn't seem to keep up with them. Choi Se-won was literally outplaying Levon Tracer, and there were times where Jimmy made Shy look invisible. When you're having an impact to that degree against superstars of the game like that, obviously your team's going to be in a great position to win. It's because of how these two play that really makes this all possible. And it's not even just that individual match. Consistently, they have been the duo to look out for through the first 3 games. Against the Dallas Fuel, a Grand Finals champion team, with Edison and Sparkle still there. They dominated those two, made them useless, and Choi Se-won against Prophet, again, this was an easy clap for him. Jimmy and Choi have been on another level so far. Choi's always been pretty excellent, we've just been waiting for him to finally take that jump with a better team around him that can actually give him the resources to pop off consistently, and right now it seems like he finally has that, and we're getting the results. This man has been hungry for years. He has been waiting for this kind of moment to come his way. Right now, through the first 3 weeks, he has clearly been the best flex DPS in the APAC region. No ifs, ands, or buts. And if it continues to go this way, the sky's the limit for this guy, really. He is fulfilling that potential we all knew he had, and I can't help but feel proud of the guy. He stuck with the Charge through all these years, and now the work is finally paying off. But I think deep down, a lot of us knew Choi Se-won was going to be the bright spot of this team. He's always been the leader of them, literally since he joined them a couple of years ago. It's more so what Jimmy is doing that makes this DPS line stand out so much. Jimmy was playing pretty well last year. Not the best in the APAC region, but still respectable. But I don't know if anyone expected him to take another jump like this. This glow up that he's having is unbelievably impressive, and it might be the biggest one we have seen since like Sato or Fearless. This guy's determined to improve and get better and better and better, and he has absolutely blown the lid off of what we thought his ceiling was, at least right now in the present. This guy's come a long way. It's clear that he had a chip on his shoulder after his Chengdu stint, and he wanted to get better, and now here he is proving all of the doubters wrong. A guy that was originally just known as this wacky Widow player that would go on dumb flanks and throw is now one of the most elite hit scans in the entire APAC region at the start of 2023. This guy cannot do wrong. He is hitting everything, and in the words of Avril, Jimmy fricks. I'm not exactly sure if this level of play will be sustainable for the guy or if it's just a hot start, but if he continues to be this type of man, if he is the guy, the Charge will be so hard to stop, and they won't be losing a lot of games. When both DPS are playing out of their minds like this every single game, what chance do you have? Looking outside of the DPS though, the other guys are not to be underestimated. The backline, like I said before, they're just playing very smart Overwatch. I feel like Xerneas and Farway are doing their jobs extremely well. They're making plays when they need to, they're avoiding trouble. Xerneas has always been like a world-class Brigitte player, so we're seeing that play out again in real time. And Farway continues to level up as well. He's another guy just like Jimmy who has kind of blown the lid off of what we expected from him. If anything, he's playing more like what we originally expected when he was first coming out of Team CC. He was known as one of the better flex support players in the entire world back then, and now after a couple of years, he truly seems to be fitting into that role and playing at that level. This backline, dare I say, is looking like one of the stronger ones in the league early on in the season. They have everything you need. They're strong individually as playmakers, they can do a lot on their own, and as a team, together, they're even stronger. They already had good synergy from their Chengdu days, and it's obvious they've built it up a step further over the offseason and what they did during the back half of last season. And they're flexible too. Based on what I saw last year and through the start of this year, they're never going to be the best at any particular thing, but they're always going to be solid on everything that you ask them to play, and that's what makes this backline one that you can always trust. And that's what makes the foundation of the Charge so great. Both of their duos can make equal contributions on a regular basis, so it doesn't feel like there's any particular weak point. But honestly, the part of this team that needs more appreciation, that's likely the most undermined right now, is Piggy and what he's doing at the tank position. To come to this Charge team, leaving the Houston Outlaws, you really didn't know what to expect. The Houston Outlaws just let him go. They let him walk because they didn't feel like they needed him anymore. We wondered how good Piggy could be in the Overwatch 2 era, but since joining the Charge, he has shown that is not a problem. We saw it at certain times last year, but it did feel like the Charge were somewhat limited in what they could run. They did a lot of Zarya and D.Va last year, playing around Piggy's comfort picks, rather than what was necessarily the best possible hero pick to make it tank. But that's changed heading into this season, and that's what makes Piggy so big for this roster. Much like his partner Jimmy, this man has had a serious level up. His tank pool has gotten significantly better, and it's because of this that the Charge feel a lot more comfortable out there. They're not worrying about Piggy's comfort picks and playing around him. They can do what suits the situation the best, and that's what's allowing for their players to reach their maximum potential here in the early season. Piggy's main tank pool seems to have come leaps and bounds since the last time we saw it. To keep up with Guxue somewhat well in a Winston battle, and to absolutely body Bellows-Ree in a Rein duel says a lot about how fast Piggy is improving, and it's a very underrated aspect as to why the Charge are so good. He has been the pillar of stability for them, the glue that holds them together. Piggy's on his Giga Chad arc right now. He's playing some of the best Overwatch we've ever seen out of him, his team is playing well, and he lost a lot of weight recently, so he's looking really good, he's feeling himself. My man is actually the protagonist of the league right now with the improvements he is showing. It is absolutely amazing, and I am all for it. We stand Piggy around here. So yeah, when you combine all these factors, like how they're playing individually, as a unit, the better synergy, the confidence, zero fear, the chips on their shoulders, and just simply being overdue for a good season, you have a really great Guangzhou Charge team that is currently clowning on myself and other people on the internet left and right. Maybe I'm calling it too early, but I'ma say it. I was wrong about you, Charge. I admit it. I'll take all the heat, all the criticism, all the L's. They're a way better team than I thought they'd be. They're surpassing all of my expectations, and if they can continue to play like this for an entire season, the sky's the limit. And with that said, that's gonna wrap up my Guangzhou Charge praise party. If you enjoyed this video and you want more reaction content throughout the season just like this, let me know down in the comments below, give this video a thumbs up, and subscribe to my channel if you're new. And until next time, this is ATP, signing out. Peace.